So in this video, we're going to look at 3 different drills I have for you, not just drills, but how to customize them to suit not only your game, but really your body and your body style. Let's have a look. Well, great golfers, when they want control in their shots, say a chip or a putt, they move everything together or more or less together. The club, the body, the arms, etc. That gives you control. But if it's power you're looking for, which is what we're trying to develop here, then you have to move the segments separately. The segments they look at are the hips, the upper body, the thoracic trunk, the arms, and the club, and of course the wrists linking the arms and the club. Let's have a quick look at a pro doing both so you get a good mental picture, then we'll get into our drill. Okay, I've chosen Charles Howell. He's hitting a little greenside shot there on the left, and I've chosen him with a driver there because that's power maximum. That's where he's really trying to maximize it. So watch this little pitch here, back and through, and there's a tiny bit of wrist motion, but if you watch more the body here and peripherally watch the club, you'll just see how everything's really moving together. Club always looks right in front of him there, and if you watch his hip action, it more or less just drifts along and follows the body. Now, let's check out the driver. Back we go, or back he goes. Now watch this move of the hips here, and watch how the driver gathers, the club itself gathers behind him. So now the club is way around here relative to where his body's going. A serious change in relationship, and as he comes through, he then slows his body and hips down and snaps the whip of the driver. So you really see a big difference there in order to create speed. So this is the same principle, for instance, as snapping a towel, where the energy goes out through the arm, out through the length of the towel in that order, and creates a lot of pop at the bottom. That's what this is so helpful for. In fact, this drill that I'm going to show you here could not be done without a lag shot. So what you're going to do is you're going to start moving your core, wiggling it back and forth, and let the club start to react to you. And you can see with a little bit of movement and absolutely no effort in my hands, I can start to create a tremendous amount of whip. Then you're starting to feel the sequence and the way the towel should move. Now here's the key to it. We'll hit some shots in a moment. We'll talk through that. But the key to it, don't do it with your hands and wrists. Let it come through your hands and wrists from your core. So start small. I feel my body moving back and forward. And I can start to feel that where I'm moving, the club's moving in a different direction, the same as the towel is out there. That's the key to transferring energy, separating the segments. So let's try this. Got 3 balls on low tee, but teed up to make it easier. Get my feel. We're going to do a small one. And just pop the thing out there. For some people, this is the first time they've ever really felt this principle. As you saw with the pro a moment ago, they do that. Let's try it again. Get my feel. Like that, and I probably hit that ball 60 yards with hardly any effort. Go back and forth on scale where you're doing it on a big scale to a very small scale. Play around with it, develop some timing. Again, the underlining thing though is you have to start to create motion and energy in the golf club, not with your wrists but through them. And you start to get the feeling for how the golf club's always moving somewhat separately to the body there. That's when you create energy. Let's try one on a little bit bigger scale. That was a good one there. That was probably 110, 120 yards. Great little drill. Hang out with it, get the feel, and you will benefit from this a great deal. Remember, passive hands. Okay, drill number 2, squaring the face. That's a big component of lag shot, is helping so many golfers that slice the ball learn how to square the face properly. Let me first say this. You have to differentiate, let me come closer to the camera, you have to differentiate closing the face or turning the shaft, if you like, from what most people do. They don't do that effectively. They just instinctively turn the entire golf swing. They come right over the top, which does to some extent close the face, but it's not the way we want to do it. So you have to differentiate the ability to get the face closing and to turn the shaft from excessively turning your trunk and coming over it. Let me show you a little something that's a key mental picture that's going to set up our drill with a pro, then we'll get back out here and work on it. So Adam Scott there looks like he's hitting a mid-arm, one of the best ball strikers on tour for sure. Let's take him to the top of his backswing, and if we stop him there and we connect a line from the golf ball to just on top of his club head, you'll notice as I start him down, his club does not return directly towards the ball. It swings downward a lot more. I mean, there's significant space now between the club and the line. Most golfers, or let's at least say many, go directly towards the ball. So the club should swing more in a downward arc before it really starts to travel in front of the body and hit the ball. Okay, here's the drill. Take either hand. We'll try with both hands. I'm going to start with my right. Go to the very bottom of the grip. Leave yourself a lot of club up here. The club will feel a lot lighter this way. And make some little swings. I've put the bucket over here just to give me kind of a mental picture of where I'm going, not at the golf ball. I'm going to set up as though there was a ball here. So take the one hand, just go back about 3/4 distance. And if you were hammering a big nail in right here, practice the feel of turning that club, but still swinging down. Try it with the other hand. You may have a lot more strength in one hand or the other. I don't mind which one you key on. I generally key on both when I actually hit it, but train the hand. So here we go, left hand. Again, path of club is down towards the ground. Face is starting to square. Then I can go up near the end of the handle and start to feel that combination of where the club's going and what the face is doing. Let's have a little look at body motion from here. So now we've got our club squaring up, we've got our club moving down. Of course, we've got to get the club from there over to here to hit the golf ball. What most people do too much of, especially if they're prone to slicing, is they do too much pulling with their upper body. That changes the plane and it moves your body in the wrong way. Think less in terms of turn. Certainly the body does turn in the downswing. And more, I would say, for most people in terms of more of a bump their weight this way. Think of skipping a rock for a second. How would you move if you did that? You'd turn a little bit, but you'd bump, and that gets your skip going forward. So let's have a little look. This would be me hitting the ground or hitting the imaginary bucket back here. Then I'll add a little bump of weight and through I go. Again, certainly the body's turning, but it's more of a bump and square the club face. Okay, now building physical skill, motor program skill at anything, whether it's on a bicycle doing tricks and whatnot or a skateboarder, there's 100 probabilities. Table tennis racket, you have to play around with it, you have to have time on task. So our goal, it's very important, is not perfect straight hit right away. Our goal is to discover feel, to create a sense of difference between one thing and the other. So I'm going to take my grip, we're going with a fairly small swing to start with, mix and match it as you need to, and I'm really going to work that face here. My hope is I will have a hook. I had a phenomenal hook over there. So I start to realize, I think I came on a good plane. That's too much. And again, you have to hang out with it. The average golfer, way too tied into straight hit, solid hit. They don't relax enough. They don't gain skill. Work on this, mix and match a bit, then get your club, my 7-irons right there. In all likelihood, when you get your club, you're going to hit some nasty hooks, even if you feel it's neutral for a few shots. Again, hang in with that, let that work its way to neutral. Your body starts to calibrate, go back and forth between the lag shot for a few shots, back to your 7-iron. Okay, let's look at drill number 3 then, and that is how much lag can you add and how much is right for you. There's Tom Watson back in his heydays on the left, love the pink glove, and Sergio Garcia there on the right. So Watson, 8-time major championship winner, always had a long arm swing, but watch his lag. I mean, that's decent for sure, but you wouldn't say it's world record breaking. It's certainly nothing approaching what Sergio has there. Both tremendous players, both major championship winners, just built differently, predisposed to swing a bit differently. Watson certainly has enough lag. He gets his hands in front of the ball, gets the club lined up with his lead arm. Sergio's able to do that as well. Of course, great ball striker, but they're just differences according to the physiology of those players. So let's play around with this, see what's right for you. A lot of it has to do with the mobility in your wrist. How close can you get your thumb to your forearm? I'm about average, reasonable flexibility. I'm told Ben Hogan could almost touch double-jointed thumbs and partly wrists, I'm told, could almost touch his thumb back to his forearm. That's going to have a big bearing on how you look coming down. It's not the only one either, flexibility in the trail, shoulder, etc. But find out what works for you. Obviously, more lag is better. So let's start with this. I'm going to make some 3/4 backswings, and then I'm just going to initiate and see if I can really bend that shaft. Think back to drill number 1. That's the feeling. Cannot be faked with the hands if it's going to be reliable. Has to come from the body through the hands. See how much I can bend it. Let's try a little shot, medium backswing. That had a lot of bend in it. Problem is, couldn't hit the ball. So That's the whole point of this thing. You've got to find out what you can do, what you can manage, how much is the right amount of lag for you. I'm not worried about that. I could really feel the club bounce. So I'm going to try another one. This time I'm going to be a little bit less drastic. Pretty good shot. Ball stayed out a little to the right. Hard to get the club square when it lags that much. But the point is mix and match it. The key is it's got to come from here out through the club. So like the first drill, the club is starting to react to you. And then of course you're going to want to mix and match with your club again. Very different feel, much lighter and firmer. There's not nearly the bend in it. But can I play around with it and get that sort of a sensation? I'm going to try medium-sized swing. A lot of power and lag if I can here. Yeah, I could feel a pretty darn good amount of bounce up there. You've got to play golf. You've got to be able to go out and trust it. Mix and match, play around, find the amount, whether it's Tom Watson, Sergio, whatever it is, find the amount that's right for you and camp out with it.